wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers, and other participants. My name is Ramada Azara Maharani from Public Administration, and I'm truly honored and delighted to be your Master of Ceremony for today's event. On behalf of the Department of Public Administration, Faculty of Social and Political Science at Universitas Diponegoro, I warmly welcome you to Day 3 of the Summer Course 2024 with the theme Empirical Studies of Public Administration, Challenge and Prospects. It is an honor to have you with us today as we explore critical themes surrounding environmental management and policy. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that this session is being conducted by Zoom, so please ensure that your microphone remains muted throughout the presentation to avoid any disruptions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today for a special session with our esteemed speakers, and we are very delighted to introduce our three distinguished speakers for today's summer course. Our first speaker is Dr. Azriansyah from Northern Illinois University, or USA. Please give him a warm virtual welcome. Good afternoon, Dr. Azriansyah. And our second speaker is Dr. Yanuradi from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Please give him a warm virtual welcome. Good afternoon, Dr. Yanuradi. And our final speaker today is Professor Dr.
Tuti, Profesor Tuti.
Yes, Prof. Hartuti from Universitas Diponegoro, Indonesia. Let's welcome her warmly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we will now proceed to the main session of today's event with our distinguished speakers, and this session will be moderated by Mr. Amnizar Kashir Rahman, SAPM FE. So, Mr. Amnizar Kashir Rahman, SAPM FE, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Ramada. Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to the Summer Course 2024 edition organized by Department of Public Administration. It's a truly pleasure to have you all, all of you, especially our speaker here and also beloved participant. So, the first speaker is Mr. Azriansyah, PhD. Hello, Mr. Azriansyah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You come from?
Northern Illinois University.
Northern Illinois. So, what time is it in your place?
Fortunately, I'm in Indonesia right now,
in Indonesia.
and yes,
And then?
so I also want to clarify that I'm not a PhD yet. I'm still a PhD candidate. So I'm
Okay.
here to do my field work collecting the data for my dissertation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adriansa. So, is it very expert in political science with a deep focus on comparative politics and Southeast Asian study, based on your CV. So,
Yes.
Mr. Adriansa expected to graduate in spring 2025. Yeah, is it true, Mr. Adriansa?
Inshallah.
Inshallah, amin ya rabbal alamin ya. So, his academic work span a wide array of topics, such as non-tax revenue and party durability in electoral authoritarian regime, a comparative study between Indonesian Golongan Karya Party and Cambodia People's Party. So, Mr. Azaria holds a master's degree in political science from the Northern Illinois University and also a bachelor degree in political science from Universitas Indonesia. His research has consistent explored the intersection of natural resource governance, state information, political stability, particularly in Indonesia and Cambodia. So today, Mr. Azriansa will offer insight about our topic today in environmental management and policy. So, Mr. Azriansa, you have 45 minutes to present your presentation. Okay, time is yours, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much. So, um, selamat siang, good afternoon for all of the speakers and all of the participants of this summer course. So, well, I think I come from a different background from all of you, from the host, that I'm from political science, and I learned political science since my undergrads until now in my PhD as well. So I hope that my presentations today will will help me to learn more about public administration. And on the other hand, I hope that my perspective from political science, especially in comparative politics and area studies about Southeast Asia, could also help all of the participants to give more rich perspective, especially when we talk about environment. So I think I want to share my PowerPoint presentation. So just want to double check. Can you see this, all of you?
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet?
Okay. Clear.
Clear? All right, thank
Yeah.
you. So this is part of my dissertation project. So my dissertation basically is comparing Indonesia and Cambodia during Suharto regime, Orde Baru in Indonesia, and Cambodia during Hun Sen era, which is last from 1993 until 2018. But in this session, in this talk, I want to focus about the natural resource rents in Indonesia and Cambodia. So I want to explain about how natural resources could help an authoritarian regime to stay long. So in political science, we use the concept of regime durability. So I want to contribute in the theoretical debates about democracy and authoritarianism in finding how regime durability is caused by natural resources, or how natural resources contributes on regime durability. So this is the outline. So first, I will talk about the background of my research. And second is about the puzzle research questions and the argument that I make. The third is methods and data collection. The fourth is preliminary findings. So this is not the final results, because currently I'm still doing my field works, collecting the data for my dissertation. And the last but not least is the conclusion, in which I also mention some points about the challenges and opportunities based on my fieldwork, based on the data collecting process that I'm doing right now. So let's start. So this is the map of Southeast Asia. So for those of you who are not familiar with the region of Southeast Asia, so this is the map that could help you to locate where Cambodia is and where Indonesia is. And I assume that the majority of the participants in the summer course are Indonesian or Southeast Asian. So I assume that all of you are already familiar about these two countries. So I want to explain about durable dictatorship. Hun Sen and Suharto, or in Indonesia, people used to call him as Pak Harto, Bapak Pembangunan, the father of development. Why I compare these two figures? Why I compare these two leaders? It's very simple, because they stay in power for more than 30 years. Hun Sen, he was in power since effectively since 1993 until 2023. So more than 30 years. It's almost 40, it's 30 years. And that was when Cambodia already becoming a democratic country, but he actually was in power as a prime minister of Cambodia since 1985. So it was 39 years ago. So effectively, Hun Sen, who is on the left side with glasses, he was in power for 39 years. And Suharto, he was in power for 32 years. So these two guys, they stay in power for a very long time. And if you open the map, or if you open the history of all of the countries on this planet, it's hard to find a personal figure who could stay in power for more than 30 years. And these two guys, could be some of the exceptions. So on the left side, this is the symbols or the logo of CPP. CPP is the abbreviations of Cambodia People's Party, Partai Rakyat Kamboja. So it used to be a communist party, but after the Paris Peace Agreement in 1991, the Cambodia Communist Party transformed into CPP, into Cambodia People's Party. And on the right side, so you see the symbols of Golkar, Golongan Karya. And during Suharto era, during the New Order era, they claim that Golkar is not a political party, but this is an organization who participate in general election, or the government used the label as OPP, Organisasi Peserta Pemilu. So I already mentioned earlier that the background of this research is about durable dictatorship in Indonesia and Cambodia, and I want to address that puzzle. I want to answer the question about why some dictatorship could be so durable, could stay longer, while in other countries, dictators only last for few years. And the hypothesis that I want to make here is because of natural resource endowment. And both countries, Cambodia and Indonesia, when this dictatorship took shape, was rampant with mass conflict. So in Indonesia, Suharto came to power in 1966, and he was the anti-communist hero after the 1965 Indonesian Communist Party movement in September 30th. So after the September 30th movement, there was a huge mass conflict, a huge mass murder, and Suharto came on the ashes of that. Same things with Hun Sen in Cambodia. So Hun Sen came in power in 1985, about 6 years after the Khmer Rouge, the Khmer Merah. The mass killings during Khmer Rouge, to give you a background, is a communist party in Cambodia who ruled the country since 1975 until 1979. And this regime was very notorious because of the violence and also the mass killings, in which during their regime, during their tenure for 4 years, it's about 2.5 million of Cambodians killed during that time. And to give you some context on how significant 2.5 million of population in Cambodia, 2.5 million people in Cambodia at that time was about 25% of the whole population. So can you imagine that 25% of the population of a country was killed during that time, during that 4 years? And again, this is the number of years when Hun Sen was in power, 1985 to 1993, and 1997 to 2023. Suharto was in power, 1966 to 1998. And the other reason why I'm comparing these two countries is because of the natural resources endowments in both countries, timber and oil in Indonesia and timber and land in Cambodia. But in this talk, I only focus on timber. So how natural resources endowments, timber or forestry, can help the authoritarian regime to stay longer in power. So here's the puzzle and research questions. So I want the big lacunae. So there is a space that have not been filled by the researcher or by an experts dealing with natural resources, endowment, and authoritarian durability is about the mechanism connecting natural resources and authoritarian regime. The connection is still not clear, and the conditions under which it has an impact on authoritarian regime is still not addressed by political scientists or by experts who studying the connection between natural resources and authoritarianism. So my question to be addressed here is to what extent that natural resources wealth plays in maintaining regime durability. And then my second question is, what is the mechanism linking natural resources endowment and regime durability? So previous research focusing on several factors, trying to understand why authoritarianism could last very long. The first, they referring to the role of institutions. So the basic idea here is how institutions help prolong authoritarianism. So we have Stephen Levitsky and Lucan Way here, and Dan Slater and Sophia Fenner. They came up with the notion of it was infrastructural power of the state. So a strong state helps authoritarian leaders or help dictators to stay longer in power. So one of a popular example here is the case of Singapore. Singapore is a country which have a very strong state. Strong state here means that the state has an infrastructural power in which the state has the capacity to monitor the population, has the capacity to extract resources, extract taxes from the population, and also the state has the capacity in distributing resources to the whole population. So that is their argument. And then the other argument within this institutional perspective, that's how I call it, is the bureaucratic autonomy or embeddedness autonomy within the government. And this is the argument by Peter Evans, in which he argues that a government or in a country which has a bureaucracy that is insulated has the autonomy to execute the policy that helps to prolong authoritarianism. And there is another perspective within this big group of institution authoritarianism is coalitional structure of the authoritarian rulers, in which the wider the coalitional structure, the longer dictators could last. And then the other argument is the type of authoritarian leadership, whether it is a roving bandits or stationary bandit, in which in a stationary bandit type of authoritarianism, dictators who knows how to extract taxes and knows how to distribute the tax or resources extracted from the population, they could last longer. And then the other theory here is about horizontal accountability. So in a country in which horizontal accountability is not exist, then the authoritarian leader could stay longer. So horizontal accountability here is the monitoring system from the government institutions, like in Indonesia, we could say like from the legislative, from the judiciary, and also from the watchdog or auditory body, like in Indonesia is like the Agency for Financial Inspector or Inspectorate General, like BPK, Badan Pemeriksaan Keuangan. So lack of accountability of those organization or those agency could lead to authoritarian durability. And the other stream of another perspective explaining why authoritarian durability could exist is a resource curse theory, in which this theory argues that resource endowment are more likely to hinder the economic development and oil hinder democracy. This is by Michael Ross. So he used the notion of oil curse, that oil curse is hindering democratic process because it affects the ownership structure of the oil companies. It affects the leadership know-how. It affects the timing of oil and state development. However, there are some criticism to this perspective. The first is from Victor Haber and Victor Menaldo, in which they said that there is no correlation between oil discovery and regime types. And then the other criticism is clientelism at the elite and mass level, in which this affect how resource endowment could could help dictators to stay longer in power. And the argument that I want to make here is I agree with the institutional argument that capacity of the state determines the natural resource strategies by authoritarian rulers to maintain political power. However, there is an asymmetric resources between the incumbent and the opposition. So in a country in which the structure of the state is still patrimonial, characterized by lack of meritocratic system, meritocratic bureaucracy, and limited extractive capacity, and the absence of horizontal accountability leads to authoritarian rulers to exploit natural resources and distribute rents in cementing political pacts. And natural resources also allow the dictators to distribute the resources to gain popular legitimacy in the election through money politics, or by building government projects to gain popular legitimacy from the voters, like building schools, building roads, and repairing the bridges, building on irrigations, things like that. However, my argument is that political party is very important in sustaining authoritarianism. And this is what I call as political party is the nerve center of authoritarianism. So we will see here how Indonesia and Cambodia had a different path, in which Suharto regime ended in 1998 by the Reformasi movement. Suharto stepped down because he lost the legitimacy, he lost the support from the people. On the other hand, in Cambodia, Hun Sen stepped down not because of people power, but he passed the baton from him to his son, Hun Manet, last year in 2023. So the process of political succession, political transition in Cambodia is smoother than in Indonesia because of these political party factors. So this is how I collect the data. So I use the method of process tracing. So process tracing is the method to collect the data by tracing the pattern and tracing all of the process on how things develops. This is from Alexander George and Andrew Bennett, and also from David Collier. So I also use the technique of elite interviews. So I'm interviewing about 25 to 30 informants in Indonesia and in Cambodia. So the way I do the interview is by doing an in-person interview and online. And these are 4 categories of my informants, the informants that I interviewed. The first is academicians. Second is government officials. Government officials could be from the like civil servants and also from military, or also academicians like professors or faculty members who used to teach, who used to taught in universities, and they appointed to become a minister or appointed to serve as an advisor of the government, and that is categorized under government officials. The third is politicians, and the last are activists and journalists. And to complement the data that acquired or collected from the interviews, I also use documents like reports, media, and speeches from politicians and government officials. So preliminary findings from Indonesia. So I make a quote here from Pak Amir Mahmud. So Amir Mahmud was the Minister of Home Affairs from 1969 to 1982. And in one of the interview, one of my interview with the informants here in Jakarta, my informants told me this. Uang pembangunan itu kan uang rakyat. Oleh Amir Mahmud dijawab, bukan, itu bukan uang rakyat, itu uang negara. Itu dari hasil kekayaan negara, karena kan kontribusi pajak masih rendah. So, my informants, so he was a high-level officials in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Departemen Dalam Negeri, and he was the Director General within the Departemen Dalam Negeri, and he told me this story. So, this is to show that the government, Suharto regime at that time, they don't have an accountability connection with the people, because they think that the money that they collect is not the money of the people. It's not the money from the Indonesian taxpayers. This is the government money. And why is that? If we see here in this table, we could see that the proportion of oil and from foreign aid was very huge, like almost 50% of government revenues, especially in the early stage of the New Order government, came from oil exports and from government aid. So it's hardly surprising that Pak Amir Mahmud make that statement that this is the government money, that this is not the people money, because almost the majority of government revenues came from natural resources and also from foreign aid. So there was no link of accountability between the government and the people. And then the second sector is about the forestry, the timber business. So in 1967, the New Order regime signed foreign investment law, Undang-Undang tentang Penanaman Modal Asing. So this law provide regulation that force foreign investors to collaborate with domestic businessmen. They have to make if they want to invest in Indonesia, they have to make a joint venture between foreign companies and Indonesian national companies. And in that time, the representative from the Indonesian side mostly came from the military generals, especially from the army. However, in the late 1970s, the forestry sector was consolidated and national companies became the dominant force in it. So foreign companies no longer have stocks, no longer have shares in the timber companies in Indonesia by the end of the 1970s, and it became a centralization in which timber companies mostly owned by Bob Hassan, a very wealthy businessman and very close to Suharto and his family. And he created the APKINDO, Asosiasi Pengusaha Kayu Lapis Indonesia, and he was the chair of that organization that monopolized the timber sector. And Bob Hassan had a forest concession jumped from 39,000 hectares in 1973 to 105,000 hectares in 1980. And Bob Hassan Kalimani's group became the dominant actor in timber export. And now we turn to Cambodia. So here is the table of the proportion of foreign aid through official development assistance to GNI, or gross national income, in Cambodia from 1995 until 2015. So we could see that the proportion of foreign aid is decreasing, but it's still very dominant for a country like Cambodia. And for timber, the timber extraction provided 43% of Cambodia's export earnings in 1997. So that was very huge number, like almost 50%. And then it was the highest rate of timber dependency in the world. However, in the last decade, garment and tourism have bypassed the timber sector and become the primary source of export revenue. And we could see a similar pattern between Indonesia and Cambodia, in which centralization of timber concession in the hands of Oknya. So Oknya is a title given by the King of Cambodia to anyone who is willing to donate money to the Cambodian government. The minimum donation right now is about $1 million to get this title, Oknya title. And one of the prominent Oknya is Oknya Tripiap, personal advisor of Hun Sen. And he has monopoly in securing contract for land clearing and timber export. And as a return, Oknya give a donation to political party and to CPP in building CPP office in one of the office in Priavier. And now from timber concession, it turns to land concession. So those who already acquired timber concession, they could turn that land area into economic land concession. So they can use that land for plantation, for rubber plantation, mostly in Cambodia. And here we see that Oknya Mongreti, as the largest owners of ELC, or economic land concession, with 100,852 hectares. And he is a senator from CPP, and he built schools and pagodas on behalf of Hun Sen. So what we could take from those two countries? First, in Indonesia, Suharto used his yayasan or foundation in collecting and distributing the rents from natural resources from timber. Golkar, as a political party, had no independent source of finances. And Bambang Triatmojo, Suharto's son, he became the treasurer of Golkar in 1992 to 1997. So Golkar was heavily dependent to Suharto for funding. And one of my informants told me that kita tidak boleh mencari uang selain yang diberikan oleh Pak Harto. And DAKAP, Yayasan Dana Abadi Karya Bakti, secara organisatoris mendapatkan uang dari DAKAP. So Golkar has no independency in collecting money. Golkar Golkar are not allowed by Suharto to collect money for their own activities. And this is in contrast to Cambodia. In Cambodia, Oknyas, or Cambodia rich people, makes direct contribution to the CPP, and the CPP creates party working group as an organizational mechanism to collect and distribute financial donation from Oknya. And Hun Sen, as the prime minister, he didn't have full control over CPP because there were some strong men within the CPP with their own fiefdom in certain important ministries. So this is different with Pak Harto in Indonesia. In Indonesia, it's only Suharto who could give money to Golkar. But in Cambodia, the mechanism of rent collection is more institutionalized through the party working groups. So it's not personalized like in Indonesia, in which it was Suharto as the only person can give donation for the political party. So this is to simplify the argument, so this is the causal mechanism. So dictators give concessions to the conglomerate in Indonesia or oknya in Cambodia, and those conglomerate and oknya collecting the profits from the concession, and they give the profit to yayasan in Suharto and to party working groups in the case of Cambodia. And then Golkar and CPP use that money for their campaign activities by distributing money during the election years. So to conclude, natural resources rents acquired from timber, oil, and land concession is very important for authoritarian rulers to stay in power. And the research showed that the mechanism which caused by limited extractive capacity of the state led dictators in Indonesia and Cambodia to use the rents to create patronage system to cement political pacts to becoming a glue to tie the coalitions. And the difference between rent collection in Indonesia and in Cambodia is that rent collection in Indonesia is more personalized through Suharto's yayasan, while in Cambodia, rent collection is more institutionalized under the Cambodia People's Party working groups. So this is why the process of political transition in Indonesia is not as smooth as in Cambodia, because in Indonesia it was so personalized, while in Cambodia is more institutionalized. So in Cambodia, the dictatorship is not highly dependent on Hun Sen as a person, unlike in the New Order regime, in which the regimes were heavily dependent on Suharto as a person. So what about the challenges and prospects? So I want to share my experience in doing my fieldwork here, and I hope that this could enrich our perspective about doing empirical studies, especially for the participants who doing study or research in public administrations. So from my perspective, the challenge is that environment is a sensitive issue, especially for those who are involved, like government officials, businessmen, investors, and politicians. So it's very challenging to find informants or to get information, especially to find informants who are willing to talk about environment issue. It's easier to get informants with like from professors or from NGO activists or from journalists. It's easier, but to get informants or to interview government officials or to interview a businessman, it's more difficult. That's what I experienced. And then second, environmental issues are closely linked to political factors because corruptions, conflict of interest between government officials, politicians, and investors, for example, all exist. So it goes back to the first point that because it's linked to political factors, it's very sensitive. So it's more challenging to get the data. And the older the issue is, like in the case of my research is about Orde Baru, the new order, in which it's ended in 1998, 26 years ago. The challenge is to find informants because some of them already passed away. So I like almost all of my informants, they already 70s or 80s years old. So some of them already don't remember correctly about what happened when they were they were government officials or things like that. The prospect is advancement in technology. It's really helped us in collecting the data. So more application like satellite photo from Google Earth and easier access to archives. So like if you go to Perpustakaan Nasional websites, you can find some old newspapers in the 50s, in the 40s, in the 60s. They upload it on their website and you can download it for free. And that's what I'm doing right now. Downloading the old newspaper and tracing any relevant information that helps me to complement my dissertations. And then this is the flip side of what I said earlier. The older the issue, the more open people are to talk about it. So my informants, they are more willing to talk about some sensitive issues because the issue is already passed. So they don't feel they don't care because Suharto is already passed away and some of their supervisor, some of their bosses already passed away. So they are fine to talk about sensitive issues with me. And the last point is environmental issues will become increasingly important because all strata of the society feel the impact directly. So like climate change, like flood, increasing temperature, all of us, we encounter that on our daily life. So I think that's all from me. I hope that this talk could enrich your perspective and we could share our experience in doing field work or doing research. And I really look forward to learn more from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Azri. It's very insightful, yeah, with your presentation, yeah, especially the capacity of the state plays a crucial role in shaping the strategy that authoritarian rules used to manage natural power, case from Indonesia and also from Cambodia. Yeah, you highlight about the challenges and the prospect, yeah, such as environment is a sensitive issue. So we must keep, yeah, how to environment not only for today but also for sustainability. And you discuss about technology, yeah, about our digitalization transformation. Thank you very much, Mr. Azri. So we will invite the second speaker. Hello, Mr. Yanwar.
Hello.
Mr. Yanwardi.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Amri. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Mr. Yanwardi.
Nice to meet you too.
Wait a second, Mr. So, Mr. Yanwardi come from the Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta and also researchers at the Copernicus Institute of Sustainability Development, Utrecht University. Yeah, PhD in 2024. Many research about the governance and sustainability, and also about the social ecological. So, Mr. Yanwar will present their presentation entitled, wait a second, Mr. Yeah, public administration in poly-crisis era. Maybe we'll discuss first, yeah, about what is poly-crisis era, Mr. Yanwardi.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Polycrisis era is the crisis that can happen because of the Earth system transformation. There are many impact of the Earth system transformation, and then so there are many social ecological crisis in
Okay, very interesting, yeah, to understand about polycrisis area. I think it's something new about in public administration issue. Yeah. So, Mr. Yanuardi, you got 45 minutes to present your presentation. Please, time is yours, Mr. Yanuardi.
Okay. Thank you, Mas Amni Rahman. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Where is it? There are some. Okay, I will check. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I don't present my research, but I will discuss on current challenge global environmental issue. Yeah. I will this and then I will link it to the public administration. And then how to address the Earth system transformation for sustainable development. Yeah. Yeah. And then, okay. Yeah, I will begin my presentation by showing this screen. Yeah, you can see what this screen. I think everyone familiar with this screen. Particularly first picture, flood. Yeah, maybe because it is common in Indonesia. And then the second picture maybe not really familiar. I think it's in Java, yeah, in Java, but it's really common in Kalimantan and Sumatra Islands. And then it is not common in our country. And then drought, I think, in several area also vulnerable to the drought in our country. Yeah. Yeah. And then this is what happened to the global in our Earth, and then uh, in here uh, I will discuss it more detail, but it's just a picture to us to get uh, I mean helicopter view about the situation in our Earth currently. And then yeah, this is my presentation. I will begin to discuss about one era in Anthropocene epoch and its impact. Yeah, maybe it is not familiar. Maybe I will try to discuss it, and then why this era epoch occur, and then I will discuss about the concept social ecological reflexivity, and then after that I will try to link the discussion to the how pivotal role of the public administration to address the impact of the Anthropocene. And then maybe I will try to introduce the concept of reflexive public administration. Maybe, yeah, let's try. Is it uh, is it proper topic to discuss in the public administration? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will. And then this is the epoch. Yeah, epoch Anthropocene epoch. In here, actually, Anthropocene is the common discussion in the environmental science, and not and then actually geologists not really, some of the geologists not really agree with this concept, but activists and environment activists and also environmental scientists believe it really happened. Yeah, Anthropocene epoch is the the concept that explain at the moment our Earth system has been changes because of the human activities has significantly transformed this system. Yeah, and then actually this is the Anthropocene actually still in the debate actually. Now has been changing Holocene epoch. Holocene epoch is the period when Earth climate warm after that ice age, making unsuitable for human habitation. So that it is, and then the scholar in this the Anthropocene who believe that Anthropocene epoch claim that I mean human began to spread in our Earth in the Holocene epoch, and then but this epoch has been changes, and then it will threaten our human race sustainability in the Earth. And then and then this is Earth system transformation. Okay, let me. Earth system transformation. It's happened because as I said before, Earth system transformation happen due to human activity, the human activity in our Earth, and then the transformation, the characteristic of the Anthropocene now is the climate change, and then biodiversity loss, water cycle disruption, and land use change. And actually, there are many other characteristics of the impact of the Anthropocene. And then, what is the consequence of the Anthropocene? That is the consequence of the Earth system transformation. The consequence is we see in the human life impact, and now I think everyone now feel that situation. Now we can see increasingly uncomfortable living condition, and then we feel threat to the food security, higher susceptibility to disaster such as rising sea levels, heat wave. Heat wave actually not really sensitive in Indonesia, but in Europe, I think it is really, there are many victims due to the heat wave, and then erratic rainfall pattern and wildfire and floods. And then it also make loss of the social ecological resilience. Decline in biodiversity, weaken ecosystem ability, weaken ecosystem ability to support human needs, and then also influence to ecosystem services such as clean water, fertile soil are diminishing at the moment. And then other consequences of Earth system transformation is resource depletion, over exploitation and pollution are reducing natural resources, species, and now species unable to adapt to extreme climate change are facing extinction. And then there are many other consequences, the impact of the transformation of Earth system, like health risk, yeah, like what we experienced in the COVID-19 situation. There are spread of the diseases and emergence of the new health threat, worsening social economic condition, and then there are many others other thing. And then what happened to the future if the situation still I mean, if the Earth system ours has been has been changing. I think and then now if the system's still like this and there is no collective action to address this situation, I mean, it will threaten human I mean our human sustainability in the future. Because if I mean there are like the concept like planetary boundary. Yeah, this concept explain that if the I mean our environmental situation going worse, and then it will and it will I mean going worse, and then it and then it will have I mean achieve limit planetary boundary, and it will make our Earth will be inhabitable. And then yeah, the justice issue, and then I mean the situation also linked to the justice issue at the moment. Because we can see in the globally occur an equal distribution and the impact, because vulnerable community like low income, marginalized, indigenous group bear the brunt of the climate change impacts. And then inequitable access to resource, like shrinking access to clean water, arable land, energy resources disproportionately affect poorer nation and community. And then wealthy country and industrial contribute most to environmental degradation, but they suffer fewer immediate consequently. And then climate also induce displacement, rising sea level, and then situation extreme weather and desertification, forced migration, primarily affecting low income population and small island nation. and it also implies the climate refugee, and then climate refugee, and then other issue, and issue also related, and then the impact, the justice issue uh, also related to intergenerational inequity. Yeah, because the environmental degradation and then unhealthy ecosystem due to climate change will, I mean, will uh, will influence the situation, the condition for next generation. Yeah, and then actually, I also want to say that Anthropocene not only bad uh, because we can also think about how to make human at the moment can influence the our Earth system. Yeah. So, however, to make the Anthropocene uh, can contribute to better life for human in our Earth, I think uh,
Hello, Mr. Yanwardi. Okay, maybe there's trouble in Mr. Yanwardi place. So we will waiting for 5 minutes.
sorry, Mas Amni,
Okay, yeah.
the problem about with my electric system in my home.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. It's okay.
Okay.
Please
Sorry.
continue your presentation, Yanwardi. Very important, is very interested about anthropocentricity.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which one? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you see?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say that we what I mean human race can also bring human intervention in the our Earth system to the better condition. So that's why I think so in here actually I try to introduce my actually this is one of my concept in my paper. This is a I introduced the concept social ecological reflexivity. Yeah, in social ecological reflexivity, actually, this is uh, part of the theory like part of the discussion about related to deliberation concept, and then yeah. Yeah, actually, social economic gross replaceability, the concept, they try to rep to do reflection to our modernization system at the moment. As we say, at the moment, modernization has has keep contribution to significant progress in science and technology, and also civilization, our civilization. However, modernization also have huge impact, like industrialization, and also one of the concept which should be criticized is the anthropocentric view, because this concept believe that nature is the nature. Nature merely as a resource for human need, and then this concept ignoring ecological balance, and so that's why we have to we need new value if we want to uh, shape our earth and our next generation, and then uh, and then sorry, what happened? Yeah. This is actually my one of the article on social economic diversity. What we should do to do. Oh, what our step to do social ecological reflexivity. I think first we the first is the step. First step is recognition. Recognition in here we can begin from how we recognize the social ecological impact in our system, and then we can try to learning from past success and failure around how to other to addressing the impact, and then learning from other country experience and critical review of the core value and practice, and then how to envision an alternative future, and then also how we respond. Respond is related to what we do after we rethinking, and then in here not only the concept, but also we assess the extent to which the extent to which regulation framework implemented in the our our policy, in the policy. And then actually there are many global activity as already do reflexivity. Like we know there are many at the moment there are intergovernmental organization like United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFFC. This is initiated by state actor actually. They have resolved of Kyoto Protocol, and then revised it to the Paris Agreement to import all of the to take reversible all of the country in all of the country to contribute to address climate change. And then also we can find there are many also at the moment there are many global sustainability standard at the moment, more than 300 standard. This is when I did research 2 years ago, maybe now more standard like standard initiated by global multi-stakeholder group like I researched before extractive industry transparency initiative. It involved it involved like business actor like uh, mining company and then uh, and civil society organization, government institution, and they discuss how to address social and environmental impact. In this case, they focus on how to address resource curse. And then also we can find like for palm oil, there's like how to say RSPO, RSPO standard for palm oil, and there are others many standard at the moment. And then the standard for sustainability also initiated by international financial institution like International Financial Corporation standard for company that want to get loan from IFJ. Uh, uh, and and yeah, so yeah, this is our discussion about how actually we have do reflexivity actually, but the problem is the reflexivity still, we still lack in the response process. We try have find the solution recommendation, but there is no response for this. Yeah, and okay, and then yeah, now I will discuss on the issue related to public. I will try to link the concept, this concept to public administration. Yeah, yeah. I think public administration can play can have significant role to address the impact of the multi-crisis, polycrisis due to Earth system transformation. Because as we know, we need public administrator to mitigate to uh, to involve in the process, involve in the effort to mitigate and adapt to mitigate and adapt to the Earth system transformation. And then public administration can contribute to uh, policy policy development, and then also the implementation and the implementation policy to address issues like climate change, biodiversity loss, and others, uh, other issue, and then also can introduce sustainable resource management, waste management, forest management, and also other management, and then public administration also and can contribute also to enforcement and enforce environmental law and regulation, and also info endorse the part endorse public participation pub, public participation to policy making process. And then, however, I think oh, yeah, I think polycracy the current public administration is not enough, not sufficient enough, sufficient to address uh, uh, Anthropocene, because we still need public administration who I mean we still need agile public administration who can integrate all of the organization in the government and also multi-stakeholder. We also need new value, and then so that's why I think we need new institution, new institution to address current crisis. Yeah, and particularly as we know at the moment, public administration in the in the global south country has very there are has very typical issue like poor quality governance, corruption, and also oligarch who intervene the policy making process. So that's why in here I still try to introduce the concept reflexive public administration, because in this process uh, there is process to learn, to rethink, rethinking all of the rethinking I mean to rethinking the perform of the public administration system, and then accordingly respond the rethinking result. Maybe okay, thank you. This is my last presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yanuardi. Yeah, so based on your presentation, there are several key concepts such as Anthropocene epoch, and then characterized by significant human-induced change to the Earth system. Yeah. So, based on your presentation, also emphasize the unequal distribution of environmental impact. Yeah, where vulnerability community, especially in the global south, they are face disproportionate exposure to the negative consequences of the climate change, such as a natural disaster and then the climate change also. So finally, yeah, you got a new rule of the public administration in the polycrisis era is highlighted as a pivotal in implementing climate change mitigation. So we have to manage our resource in sustainability, enforcing environmental governance, and the last is fostering public awareness. Very interesting, Mr. Yanwadi, especially from the your term about poly crisis and the what is called our latest issue in public administration, yeah, especially in environmental issue. Thank you, Mr. Yanwadi. So for our participant, if you have any question, yeah, please write in the Q&A in Zoom meeting here, yeah, in chat room, or you can ask directly in the discussion session. Thank you, Mr. Yaradi. So we'll back in the discussion session. So our last speaker, yeah, is Professor Hartuti. Hello, Professor Hartuti. Hello, Professor Hartuti. Please unmute or increase your volume, Professor. We
I
can
think
hear your.
the voice is not. I will have that.
Hello, Mas Amni, can you hear me?
Okay, clear, Professor Hartoti.
Yeah,
So
okay.
let me introduce Professor Hartoti, come from University Diponegoro, has distinguished career in the field of environmental governance and public policy, with a focus on sustainable development. Her existence research, last research has made significant contribution to understanding the intersection of environmental policy and public administration, particularly in the context of Indonesia. It's so complex about ecological and social challenge. Yeah. So, Professor Hattori will present their presentation entitled was
Waste.
waste, Indonesians serious problem.
Yeah, that's
This case in Indonesia is relevant case in Indonesia because our waste management, what is the new management, based on Professor Hartuti perspective. Professor Hartuti, you got 45 minutes to present your
okay.
presentation, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mas Amni. Good evening to everyone. It's very nice to meet you all. Yeah, in this session, which is actually it's not only beneficial for us all as an academicians, but also hopefully when we talk about environment, we'll also talk about the benefit of our activities to the earth. We only have one earth, so we have to preserve the earth very well, because we cannot go to other planet, which only have earth. So we have to care for our earth very nicely. Mas Aji, shall I share the file by myself, or are you going to do it?
Yeah, I can help you, bro. Wait a second.
Oh, I can do it also, actually.
Oh, okay. You need help or by yourself?
Yeah, let's start. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah. So, Masachi, is this from you or from me? The one that is a bit, I don't.
From me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm doing it also at the same time, so I don't know which files is on the screen. Okay, everyone. What I'm going to talk about is about Indonesia's very serious problem, actually, which is waste. Yeah, and it's very much public administration. Yeah. Such is very nice. It's very funny in your face. Yeah, it's very serious problem because in the public administration, we talked about public service. And when we talked about public service, it means that the government has to give service to the society. And in this case is on waste handling. Yeah. Although this problem is very serious, and as you see, many local governments in Indonesia, actually, especially you can see that last year, only from March to August 2023, there are 26 landfill which are burned. There were fires in those landfill, and that indicates how serious is actually the problem of waste handling in Indonesia. Next, please. Yeah, when we talked about waste, what is actually waste? Waste, and there are many definitions on waste, but I quote three of them. Waste is an abandoned material as a result of human activities or natural process, which do not have any economical value. So waste is considered as has nothing to do with economical value. Yeah, and then another definition is that waste is something invaluable, thrown away by its owner or by its user. And also waste is a non-ready resources. Yeah, and the third definition, waste is a non-ready resources, is something that that's a better definition compared with the other two, because in the other two, the first two definition that I mentioned is that it seems that waste doesn't have any value, doesn't have any economical benefit, yeah. But actually, waste is a non-ready resources, which if the government and all of the stakeholders actually, yeah, do something with waste, handling it very well, then waste can be a very beneficial resource, yeah. I joined some groups on waste management, yeah, and the one that is very active that I followed is comprising of participants from Central Java and Jogja provincial area. Yeah, and the discussions in there are very interesting. Everyone wants to join, yeah, everyone wants to contribute to how to handle the waste, yeah. But none of us is from government officials. Yeah, these are people from outside the government. I mean, outside the such as the Office of Environment, yeah, in this area. So let's talk about that later. But we are going to go to the next slide, please. Thank you very much, Masaji. And there are many types of waste, actually, yeah, and there are 3 types, which is the first one is organic or wet waste, and the number 2 is dry waste, and number 3 is hazardous and toxic waste, yeah, hazardous and toxic waste, yeah. Let's talk about that one by one, yeah, please, Masaji. Yeah, the first one is organic or wet waste. Organic waste is any material that is biodegradable and comes from either a plant or an animal. Yeah, and then we could see, yeah, that this biodegradable means that it is environmentally friendly, yeah, because when we throw something, yeah, and it's a biodegradable, it means that it will be degraded, yeah, by the environment, and it doesn't harm the environment. And the examples of that is food waste, yeah, of vegetables and fruits, and also kitchen waste. I'm sure that many of us has many of this kind of waste, yeah, in your house, yeah, and or if we go for eating outside, yeah, or for having dinner outside, yeah, and we go to restaurant, and then we can see easily, yeah, that there are many food waste around us, yeah, from people who don't eat their food, and they still leave some, yeah, in their plates, yeah. And it's very interesting that Indonesia is number 1, yeah, in the food waste number. And it's very ironic, yeah, when we see in terms of public administration, because in one side, there is a high poverty rate, yeah, in the country, and in which that many people do not have enough food, yeah. For instance, yeah, among the significance of poverty, that people do not have enough food for their so they can be active as a human, yeah, and in which it means that their health is also disturbed, yeah, by the malnourishment and those kind of things, yeah, and because they don't have enough things to eat, yeah. But in another side, Indonesia is also known as the number 2, yeah, of country which has many food waste. And there is more and more discussions and concern on this thing, yeah. And I'm glad that there are groups also who discuss about this kind of thing, in the hope that when we eat, in our community, at least, we also remember about this, so as we do not we all of us will care about what we eat, and that to make sure that we don't have any food waste. And there are many things that I'm sure that we can discuss about it. But organic waste is also the most or the majority of waste that is available. And the dump sites around us. Like this is the difference between Indonesia and Japan, for instance. In Japan, the majority of waste are non-organic materials, but in Indonesia, the majority of waste is organic waste. Organic or waste. Okay, next, Mas Aji. Now we come to the non-organic or dry waste. What is organic or dry waste? Organic waste is any material that comes from plants or animals and can be broken down into carbon dioxide. Can be broken down into carbon dioxide, methane, or simple organic molecules. It's also known as non-biodegradable. Sorry, I make a mistakes in this. Non-biodegradable waste. And the examples as paper, plastic, textile, rubber, glass, can, etc. When we see that plastic, for instance, in this case, plastic is very very dangerous for the environment. Although plastic is not toxic when it first come into into our environment, but when we talked about now about plastic waste, as you can see, is that there are more and more number of microplastic. Microplastic is something which is in the very much concern of the people. And I'm sure that we can also discuss about this later. Okay, next, Mas Ajib. The third one is hazardous or organic waste. Toxic and hazardous waste. Toxic waste is waste that is harmful or fatal to living organism when absorbed or ingested. Hazardous waste is the lower level of potentially harmful substances. Hazardous waste can be toxic, but it doesn't necessarily to be always toxic. But all toxic waste is hazardous. And there are many examples of it in which like battery, paint, pesticides, and Pampers. Those kind of things. Some people do not know that battery, is also considered as a toxic hazard and hazardous waste. When we use battery, sometimes people just throwing it away into the rubbish bin. Although actually for the hazardous and toxic waste, those kind of waste should be better handled. Doesn't to be mixed with other waste, but especially managed. Because this kind of thing can be harmful to the environment. But when we see in the landfill, all of those waste usually are mixed up. For the big companies, there are they usually, those companies, for the big companies, they usually have a special plan for toxic and hazardous waste management. And usually they collect them in one area, and after a certain time, for instance, like 1 semester or 3 months, or depends on the amount of waste that they have, then a third party will take the waste, and then it will be taken to a certain toxic and hazardous waste plant. And we have one which is that people usually know is in Cilengsi, in West Java. They have the special plant to process all of these toxic and hazardous waste. Plastic. For when we talk about plastic, plastic is considered non-toxic and hazardous when it comes into like the first, when you throw away like your plastic bottles, yeah, for instance, yeah. But along the way, when it then dissolved into small substance, which is called microplastic, it can be very dangerous, yeah, because it goes finally into our body, and then it will harmful to our health. Yeah, but but plastic is not considered as a toxic and hazardous waste. Yeah, it is a non-organic waste, but it's not toxic and hazardous to the environment when it's first thrown. Yeah, and yeah, so we have here Pampers. Yeah, Pampers was not popular. Yeah, when for instance my kid was still very young. Yeah, I have 2 children. Yeah, and when they were small, I didn't use Pampers very much. Yeah, only in a very certain circumstances that I bring Pampers and then give them Pampers, but very rare, very rare. It's not that popular back then. Yeah, but now Pampers is very popular. Yeah, and since the birth rate, yeah, in our society is still high, and it used to be only mothers in the urban areas to use Pampers, but now also mothers in the rural areas also use Pampers. And some of them are thrown away, not only in their garbage, but also say it will ends up in the river and in the coastal areas. Yeah, and it's very harmful to the environment since it brings also germs in it, which might harmful, yeah, to the environment. And next, Masaji. Yeah, these are the picture of a small market, yeah, or a supermarket, yeah, alleys in supermarket, which I'm sure that all of you has been very popular with this. And all of these things are things that we need, yeah, for our daily consumptions. But look at them; they also resource, yeah, they also sources of our waste. And you can see that many of them are made in plastic. Yeah, and so that's why the number of waste in the environment is more and more on the plastic. Yeah, so this is harmful to the environment. Next, please. Now, then we come to the waste problems. We can see it from government side and then from the consumers or the public side. Yeah, in terms of public administration, because as I have mentioned before, that the government is compulsory for giving public service to the public, and one of the service is waste, yeah, for waste handling. So some people may think that they don't have to take care of their garbage, yeah, or their waste, yeah, because that's the government's task, yeah, to handle the waste. But that's not true actually, yeah. So what's in from the customer or the consumer side, which is the public, yeah, there are the increasing production and types, yeah, of waste, yeah, and can be frightening, yeah, looking at the increasing number, because in Indonesia the problem is still lies in the population increase, yeah. For a very long time, yeah, the government has been trying to control the birth rate, yeah, through such a program of family planning, yeah, in which the government wants that a couple only has 2 children, yeah, but this is not easy, yeah. So we still have the problem of population increase, and more population, more people, it means that it's also more waste that is thrown away to the environment. Yeah, more people, so more waste generates. Yeah. And there is also an income increase. Yeah. Especially when we see that there is a growing number of people who live in the urban areas. Yeah, and in the urban areas, people have a certain consumption type of style. Yeah, as you can see now, probably like in the rural areas, for instance. Yeah, they may have the same kind of consumption, yeah, with the people in the urban areas, since we see that now the internet, the social media has been spread all over the country. So people are encouraged, yeah, to have the same consumption style, yeah, type with the people in the urban areas. But in rural areas, there are still more empty spaces, yeah, in terms of area when we see. So in rural areas, people still have more freedom, yeah, for instance, yeah, freedom, quote unquote, yeah, to throw away their garbage because they can make, for instance, holes, yeah, in their garden, yeah, for instance, and then they can throw the waste there. But people in the urban areas, they don't have that kind of luxuries yet. So, because usually the size of their land is limited, so they rely more on someone else, yeah, to take care of their waste. Yeah. So that's why waste management is more important. Yeah, although it's important all over the country, but it's more important when it comes to the urban areas. And then we talked about product handling, yeah, related to consumption type. So actually these four aspects or these four things are very related to each other. When we talked about product handling, yeah, and then consumption type, now people more and more relies on buying their things online, yeah, in terms of clothes, in terms of food, yeah. And when the product is sent from one place to another, it means that they need special handling, yeah, in terms of packaging, yeah. But sometimes when we buy things through the internet, yeah, online, through the online shops, yeah, they wrap the things sometimes it's very, very, what is it, like extravaganza, yeah, and using the wrapping materials, yeah. And it means that it gives more materials, yeah, for waste, yeah, and the garbage. It needs to be handled, yeah, by the local government. Usually, the garbage are collected from house to house, yeah, by a special person. We are going to talk about it later. We can see the pictures afterwards. Okay, next, Mas Aji, please. Yeah, from the government side, yeah. From the government side, there are still problems that appears, yeah, from various research, yeah, that we can see it easily. Yeah, there are still problems in terms of the government service, yeah. The first one we can see here is in terms of service quality and level, which are not yet satisfying. Service quality means how the government gives the service to handle the waste problems, to handle the waste. Yeah, usually there is a special person, yeah, which will take the waste from one house to another, yeah, with the small motorcycle, like three-vehicle, usually the three-vehicle thing that there are many types. Yeah, people you say it like what is it, Tosa? Yeah, also actually, although Tosa is actually a brand name, yeah, of that three-wheel type vehicle. Yeah, and usually people pay for that kind of service. Yeah, they pay for the person, and then the money is collected in one area, yeah, in a certain number of neighborhood. Yeah, in Indonesia we call it RT or RW. Yeah, and then the waste will be taken to the temporary landfill area. Yeah. But this kind of service sometimes is not satisfying yet, because like in Semarang, we have different level of area. Yeah. The upper level, and then the middle, and then the lower level, which is close to the sea. Yeah, and in the hilly area in Semarang, there are still some hilly areas, although it's not very steep, but there are some housing, yeah, which are located in the hilly area, and it's not easy. It's not easy for this kind of garbage handling, yeah, to operate, yeah, because of usually in those area, it's highly or steep, yeah. Steep streets, steep and then small, yeah, and then and sometimes it's not easy for the garbage man, yeah, to do his activities in those kind of areas. So when I did my research in one area in Semarang, which is actually in the middle of the city, but since the area is such that, so the households in that area, they some of them, at least I know that because we did interview with the people there, they throw with the garbage in the river in that area, yeah, and they say that our house is near this river, and it's because it's in the hilly area, so the waste can easier, yeah, to flow, yeah, from that area to another. But it's something not nice, yeah, because people in the lower area, they will get garbage, and the river, that's our river actually. Yeah, it's not only the river belongs to the people in the hilly area, but it's also the river, our river. Yeah, so we have to look after our river. Yeah, we have to preserve it because water is our main need, yeah, for human being, yeah, and it has many functions. You know, the river has many functions. It's not only for human being, but there are also other creatures which life depends on those water. Yeah, there are plants and also fish probably, yeah, and those river. Then they have the same right for us to live. Yeah, and because that kind of thing, yeah, that we have to look after. And after service quality and level, this land level, there is also another problem related to the fact that most of our landfill are still open dumping. The system is still open dumping. It's not yet sanitary landfill. Yeah, should be sanitary landfill actually, based on the Act of number 18, 2008 on waste management. Yeah, it was said in that act, yeah, or regulation that in 2013, yeah, the local governments were expected, yeah, to have sanitary landfill. It's and not open dumping, but that is in fact very difficult to achieve. Yeah, the public administration practices still have many difficulties in trying to realize this sanitary landfill instead of an open dumping system. Yeah, and because there is also low budget for operation and maintenance. For instance, yeah, people do not want to pay money. Yeah, actually, they want to pay as minimum as possible for waste handling. People are willing to pay for electricity, for clean water. Yeah, they need electricity. Yeah, for the house. Then they are willing to pay for water. Yeah, from the water from the municipal service, but they don't want to pay for the clean environment, yeah, which is based on waste management. They don't want that, yeah. If, for instance, people are willing to pay even for more than 1 million to get electricity, yeah, and then hundreds of millions to get water, yeah, clean water, but they are willing only to pay for, say, 25,000, 30,000, 40,000, yeah, for waste handling. Although to handle the waste, the government needs lots of money. Yeah, so there is a low budget for operation and maintenance because there is not enough financial support, yeah, from the society and from the government side. And another one is law enforcement. Yeah, actually, like in a place like Simpang Lima in Semarang, there was a sign saying that everyone who throw away garbage in that area and it's against the law, then they will be fined for 50,000 rupiahs. Yeah, there is municipal regulations on that. But when it was published, yeah, when it was enacted in 2008 or something, I only heard that only several times that this regulation is applied, in which people who were caught to throw away their garbage in the Simpang Lima area, then they were given fine. They have to pay fine. But I've never heard about that after so many years. Yeah, so there's law enforcement on that. And also like companies, yeah, there are also companies or what I have said before, there are households along the river in the hilly areas, yeah, they still sometimes throw away their waste, yeah. And also when you go to the rivers in the lower level of Semarang, which is close to the coastal areas, yeah, some of the rivers can be really dirty, yeah, in some time, especially during the rainy season. Maybe people think that, this is rainy season, then I can throw away my waste, yeah, or my garbage in the river. Yeah. And that also shows the low public participation, yeah, in handling the waste. They think that waste handling is only lies in the hand of the government and not on the hands of the people or the public, because they have they already paid some money, although the money that they give to the government is only very limited amount. Yeah. Next, please, Masaji. Yeah. This is the condition of waste collection. Yeah, from houses to temporary waste collecting areas. Yes, that so from houses, the person are taking, yeah, usually the waste, yeah, from houses to houses, and then taken to this what we call it TPS, yeah, tempat pembuangan sementara or temporary waste collecting areas, yeah. And the conditions are right, yeah. Some are very clean, yeah, but some it's just moderate, but some is dirty, yeah, like the pictures that I showed you here. Yeah. Next, please. There are also pictures, yeah, of temporary waste, but this one is in the market area. The waste in the market area, usually the regulation says that it must be fast handled, yeah. Why? Because most of the waste in the market area are wet waste, yeah. And when you wait for taking the this kind of waste, it can be harmful to the environment because it can be smelly, yeah, or the fruits and the vegetables, yeah, which are very common waste from the market, they can be rotten easily, especially during the rainy season. So this kind of waste must be fast handled. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah. This is the waste transportation. So the dump trucks bring waste to the landfill. In Semarang, the local waste office, they have 125 of this kind of trucks. Yeah, and it's not enough because then they still rent from someone else, yeah, to give the service of waste handling from one area to another. Yeah, next. After taking by the dump trucks, then the waste is taken into the landfill. In Semarang, the landfill area is called Jati Barang. Yeah, and this is the situation in Jati Barang landfill. Yeah, you can see that it's still an open dumping system. Yeah, in which it's still open. The trucks came into the area and then unload the waste, and then there will be people who try to get the things that they still can get from the waste, and also there are ships here, which is actually against the law, but these ships are owned by the people who live around the landfill, and that's what still happen. Yeah, the practice. Next, please. So you can see waste at landfill. Yeah, mostly organic and plastic. Yeah, mostly organic and plastic. Yeah. So look at the waste. Yeah. Every day, there is around 1,000 tons. Yeah, 1,000, not kgs or kilograms, but 1,000 tons of waste thrown away into the landfill area in Jati Barat. So that's very, very much. Yeah, but in places like landfill for Jakarta area and its surrounding areas, yeah, it's 7,000 to 8,000 tons, yeah, per day. But in Semarang, it's 800, 900 or 1,000, yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah, okay, next please. This is the common practice, yeah. On the left side, in the upper left side, these are the waste that in our house, yeah, we just throw them into the garbage and then taken by the garbage man, yeah, from house to another, and then taken to the landfill. It's just, actually, it's just moving the waste. It's not, the waste is not handled properly. It's not managed properly. It's just moving the waste, yeah. Next, if they don't move the waste, it can be also that, look at this, yeah, look at this picture. This is a tragedy that once occurred in February 21st, 2005, in which there was a Lewi Gajah landfill in West Java in Ciamis. After a heavy rain in February 21, there was it's not landslide, but a waste slide. Yeah, it's not landslide. It's land, yeah, slide, but it's also waste. Yeah. So there was a waste landslide which covered the two housing settlements, yeah, down of the landslide, down of the landfill. And at that time, 165 people were killed. Can you imagine? They were killed because of the waste slide, not the landslide, but the waste slide. And this tragedy is then memorized, yeah, by everyone. And the government decided that February 21 is made into the waste day in Indonesia. So you can see that in February 21, especially the Office of Environment, they have commemoration for this. Yeah, next, please. It's almost done, Mas Aji. Yeah. Although the landfill, yeah, has many problems, but and the other problem is that we don't have any other area, yeah, for landfill. It's very, 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 very difficult to build a new landfill area. And people reject landfill in their neighborhood, yeah, they have protests and those kind of things. Yeah, next, Mas Aji. Yeah, sometimes people burn their waste, yeah, which is not a good handling. Next. Yeah, if they don't burn, they can also do this. Yeah, burning waste is short solution, create pollution, contributing to global warming. Yeah, next. Next. Burying waste, they also do that, but it's also very bad because doesn't solve the problem. Next. I will come to the new paradigm. Dumping waste in the river is also bad because it's destroying the environment. Yeah, look at these pictures. Yeah. Please, next, Masaji. These are wastes when the landfill are closed for several reasons. Yeah, we can discuss about that. So people just throw away their waste. Look at that, beside the street. Yeah, it's very, very bad in terms of public administration. It happened in Bandung, and it's happening now in Jogja, where Mas Aceh and I come from. Yeah, next, please. Look at this picture. This is threatening. Yeah, it's a threatening time bomb. Yeah, when we see that, because it's something that is very bad to the environment, and every local governments has this kind of a serious problem. Yeah. Next, Mahaji. Yeah. So next, again. One more, yeah. So there should be a new paradigm for waste management in which participation of the society must be enhanced, yeah, for city development in terms of community-based development. The society must be aware also of their own problems related to waste, yeah. So it's called community self-help, yeah. Next. Next, yes, this is waste management, and these are the things that are related to that in terms of organization, technical, budget, regulation, and also business and society. Everyone must take part in this to handle waste well. Yeah. Okay, next. I still have one or two slides actually. I think this is the old paradigm. The old paradigm is that collect, transport, and then throw away. Yeah, the greater the waste amount, the higher the cost. And this is the old paradigm. We have to come to the new paradigm. Yeah, the new paradigm is not like that. But if we use the 3 R's, yeah, reduce, next, yeah, reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's the old paradigm, but we have to change ourselves to the new paradigm, which is the 3 R, the reuse, reuse, and recycle. That's, I think, yeah, the end of my presentation. Mas Aceh, if there is any questions to that, I will be happily answer. Yeah, this is a new paradigm. Yeah, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, thank you very much. Got the
Okay,
time.
thank you very much, Professor Tuti. So insightful. Yeah, so we have new paradigm about waste management. Yeah. So based on your presentation, is highlight the pressing issue of the increasing waste production driven by population growth, rising incomes, and also consumption patterns. Yeah. So we have several challenges, yeah, in waste management. Yeah, include unsatisfactory government service, low budget for operation and maintain, weak law enforcement, and minimal public participation. To address this issue, yeah, we need a shift toward a more sustainable model, focusing on waste reduction, reuse, and recycling. Yeah, so also we need the active community involvement in essential with public awareness and participant to solve waste related problem. Yeah. Okay. So I will ask for all speaker. Yeah. So we have a question here in chat box. Yeah. The first question is come from Ahmad Barlin. question for Mr. Azri. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Azri. I hope you don't mind me asking a question. Yeah, I am Ahmad Barlian from Institute of Social Science and Management, Siami, Jakarta. Based on your research, what are the main determinants that contribute to the rise of authoritarianism? Do you think they stem from personal motivation, situational opportunity, or other influences? Please, Mr. Azri.
Thank you, Pak Ahmi Rahman. Can you hear me? Just checking.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you, Pak Ahmad Barlian. So, very good question. I really like this kind of question. And from my research, basically, theoretically, there are 4 factors that explain what aspect that lead to the rise of authoritarianism. The first is, you already mentioned about it, is a personal motivation, or in political science, we call it as a voluntaristic theory, in which authoritarianism is caused by individuals who wants to rule forever, or to rule for over the long time. And in explaining the case of Indonesia, there are some scholars who use this approach, and one of the prominent scholar is William Liddell, in which he, in his explanation, that the New Order regime could last long because of the Suharto ability, or Suharto political skills in distributing the resources, so he could stay for 32 years in power. And then the second perspective is cultural perspective, in which experience with democracy explain how long authoritarianism could last, or how long democracy could last. So the shorter time period, the shorter experience with democracy would lead to a more probability for authoritarianism. So in a country in which the country, the people, and the elites, they have no experience in running the government within a democratic system, then it is very likely for that country to fall into authoritarianism, because they don't have the democratic culture, or they don't have the democratic values. So that is an example of culturalist perspective in explaining about authoritarianism. But from my point of view, I lean on 2 perspectives. This is based on my findings from my fieldwork in my research. The first is structural factor. So structural factors here could be seen from multiple factors, like the existence of natural resources, economic inequality, the percentage of the dominant religion within the population, the existence of dominant ethnic groups within the population, etc. So in my research, I found that it is the combination between structural factors and institutional factors. So the structural factors that lead to authoritarianism in Indonesia and in Cambodia is, first, because of the availability of natural resources amidst the weak of the state capacity in extracting and distributing the resources from the population or from the people. And we can see that in many countries that blessed with abundant natural resources, they are more likely to fall into dictatorship or authoritarianism. So we can see in oil, for example, in petrodollar or oil-rich countries, the type of government are mostly non-democratic government. We could see like in Brunei Darussalam or Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. Those are countries that have a lot of natural resources, a lot of oil, and they are not governed with in a democratic way. And then that is the same pattern in Indonesia and Cambodia, especially Indonesia during the 70s and 80s, in which we had an oil boom. So we we had a lot of oil revenues. So at that time in the 70s and early 80s, Suharto was very, very powerful, and he can use the money or resources from oil revenues to buying support from the rifles and buying support from the people to building government projects to gain the sympathy from the voters. Same thing in Cambodia. However, in Cambodia, they don't have a lot of revenues from oil exports, but the revenues were mainly from timber exports, and Hun Sen government used that revenues to buying supports from the elites and also buying supports from the voters, from the people. And then, how about the institutional aspects? So in Indonesia and in Cambodia, the institutional arrangement during the Hun Sen period and during the Suharto period, the executive was very powerful. In Indonesia, the presidency, the executive, during the 1945 constitution, the presidency was very powerful. It is still powerful until now, from my perspective. So the president has no limits on the tenure of the president. So Suharto could be appointed as a president for more than 10 years, and he could pick the ministers without the consent of the legislative, and the control from the legislative and from the judiciary were very limited. So lack of control, lack of monitoring system, and lack of an oversight body from the judiciary and the legislative, this give an opportunity for the president or for the national leader to expand their power and become dictators. And also, in same thing in Cambodia, the parliament was very weak. Even though in Cambodia, the system of government is parliamentary system, it's not presidential system like in Indonesia, but the parliament is not powerful in controlling the executive. And in addition, the judiciary is very weak. So the judges in the Supreme Court of Cambodia becoming an instrument of the executive rather than an instrument to control the executive. It is become an instrument of power. So the executive, the prime minister, could use the judiciary system to arrest the oppositions, to ban the oppositional political parties, and also to limit the operations and activities of the civil society. So in my findings, the factors that lead to authoritarianism is the combination between structural factors and institutional factors. So I hope that my explanation addressed your questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Adi. Based on your presentation, may I ask some question for you, Mr. Azri?
Sure.
Yeah. From the statement, there's statement, development money is not from people because of low tax contribution. And then the natural resource rent strengthened the regime financial base. Yeah. The statement come from
Amir Mahmud.
Pak Amir.
Yes,
Amir
former
Mahmud, Minister of
Menteri Dalam
Home
Negeri.
Affairs in 1969 to 1982.
Yes.
My question is it relevant with Indonesian condition today? That statement, Mr. Azri.
Yeah, thank you. It's very sharp question. So I think it is very relevant, and as you can see, that the proportion of taxes in Indonesia during the new order is it's increasing over time. So when Suharto came to power in 1966, um, government revenues from taxes, and what I'm referring to on tax is income tax, not value added, not tax from oil extraction or tax for export or import. So this is pajak penghasilan, so income tax. So the proportion of income tax during the new order is increasing over time. And if you look back on the history, on the political history of Indonesia, over time, there is more space for the opposition, more space for civil society to develop, and also in voicing the critics or in voicing disappointments about government policy. Because our dependency on oil revenues is decreasing after in the middle 80s. So Pak Harto at that time, he forced the Minister of Finance to extract more revenues from taxes. So we had a deregulation, a package of deregulation in the 80s. And the results of that reform is the proportion of taxes for government revenues is increasing. So with the increasing proportion from taxes, then people have more power in voicing um, their aspiration, in articulating their opinion. So that's why we have more opening, we have more openness in the media and on civil society by the end of the 80s. So for the present time, this is still relevant because um, the proportion of taxes is getting bigger compared to the new order. Um, so with bigger taxation, then people have more power to bargain with the government. People have more power to articulate their critics, to demand for accountability with the government, because you can say that the government cannot do that because this is the money from the Indonesian taxpayer. Now we can hear that statement more often compared to 30 years ago or 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it was very rare to hear that people say, oh, the military cannot do that because it was us who pay for their salary. It was us who pay um, for their guns or for their instruments or for their plane or their tanks. But now that statement is, we can hear that more often, especially in this digital era where people can articulate their opinion through social media. Then we heard about that more often than before. So this is still relevant in the case of Indonesia, and this is also still relevant in any countries. So I would like to take the example of USA, of America. So if you remember that the main reason why the colonists in North America wants an independence from England, from the British Kingdom, is because of the tax. So that's why we heard about the notion of no taxation without representation.
So the energy, the motivation to gain independence from the British Kingdom was because of the tax. Because the British monarchy, they raised the tax to the colonies in North America, but they don't increase they would not allow the colonies to have a representative in the British Parliament. And that is the motivation for the settlers in North America in demanding independence. So that is the basic logic. The more people pay tax, I mean, like, the more people pay for their government, then the accountability between the taxpayer and the government is more strong. It's stronger. Right? That is for me. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Arzi. Yeah, so it's still relevant not only in Indonesia but other country. Yeah, because taxes have a bigger composition. Yeah, in our financial budget. Thank you, Mr. Arzi. So we will discuss for Mr. Yanwardi. Hello, Mr. Yanwardi.
Yeah.
So we have two questions for you, Mr. The
Yeah.
first question come from Salma. Yeah.
That's
Good
That's
afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Salma. Question is, how can public administration play a role in leveraging social ecological reflexivity in the management of extractive industry to promote more environmentally friendly and sustainable practices? And what is the role of the extractive industry transparency initiative in fostering more environmentally responsible management of extractive industry in Indonesia, Mr. Januari?
Yeah. Thank you, Salma and others.
And Wintias, yeah,
Wintias for the
the question.
question.
Yeah.
Salma, yeah, actually, I don't present on EITI here, Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, but it is my PhD thesis. It was my PhD thesis, and maybe you read my thesis or my research publication. Yeah, but uh, of course, I happy to answer this question. Okay. Yeah. Your question was related to the role of public administration to leverage social ecological reflexivity. Yeah. Social ecological reflexivity actually it is a reflexive process, and then that mean it need deliberation forum. So that's why if the question is how public administration can leverage or improve the quality social ecological reflexivity or make deep reflexivity. It means public public administrator can make a forum to engage multi stakeholders, and then it not only formal actor maybe, but also maybe all of the party, including all of the party can represent all of the interests, such as even and including I mean the interest of next generation, and also environmental I mean environment interest, eco how to facilitate that interest, maybe next generation interest. Maybe we can include activists or and or scientists, because they can do research, or can I mean do research, or also conduct other thing by their initiative to represent environment or next generation interests. And then second question is related. Second question is related to EITI. Yeah. EITI actually it is global one of the global sustainability standard. And then this standard actually the theory of change of this standard is there are three aspects. They focus on improving three aspects: governance quality, accountability, transparency, and inclusive public participation. And then actually when I did research in EITI, I tried to interview and also interview multi-stakeholder in that in the forum, and then actually I find that EITI still have still cannot cannot not how to say it, EITI it extractive standard transfer into initiative still falls short to to fall short to achieve the sustainability target, because the standard only focus on more focus on economic aspect, and and then the requirement of the standard still don't have social don't still disclose social environmental impact. They still only disclose the document on the environment related to environment, but not disclose to impact. If the question related to how to make extractive industry transparency initiative can contribute to sustainable mining practice. However, this standard also have opportunity to contribute to issue environmental, to improve the quality of the environment, because they disclose also other information like beneficial ownership, and then also contract or license company, and then if this requirement can be disclosed, public can hold the owner company, or and then can get information about the contract. However, it is still a problem in Indonesia. Maybe this is related to political economy. Maybe Mas Asri can explain it. Why we adopt global standard and then but we cannot fully I mean fully comply with the standard. I think it is related to interest I mean it is related to the uh, I mean political economic situation in Indonesia. Yeah, because if all of the standard EITI complied by company, yeah, it will yeah it's mean our political economy structure has been significant change. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
The
that's
second question for
the
Windias
second question.
is forestry is well known as a vital sector that has impact on people live and maintaining air quality. But Indonesian today, forest has been reduced for development and community needs. Yeah, for example, the new our capital, yeah, IKN. Yeah, so
Mhm.
in your perspective, yeah, what can public administration do to mitigate the climate change through the forestry sector, Mr. Yelwadi?
Yeah, this question about forestry, forest issue. Yeah, uh, yeah. I think public administration have a crucial role to mitigate to mitigate or adapt climate change impact, and then forests have important role because because forests not only provide I mean forest forest not only uh how to say it, um, not only uh, not only provide timber, but also uh, uh, but also I think environmental and also environmental services. And then maybe concept nature based solution is very important for us. And then so uh, for this reason, I think public administration can uh, uh, support uh, can action to action to make to to action to support nature based support policy and also community to concern on the nature based solution. Uh, yeah. And yeah, related to deforestation issue, actually, our government has claimed that the degradation has I mean, uh, has significantly be addressed in Indonesia. So now, and however, actually, we still have to be careful on in this claim uh because maybe it we still maybe we still need data on it uh on I mean it is related to the now I mean the number of the forest area in our country has been declined. So that's why the I mean the forestation also deteriorate in our country. Yeah. Okay. Maybe thank you for this question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yanwari. So I call Professor Hartuti. Hello, Prof. Hartuti. Hello, Prof. Hartuti.
Yeah, Mas Amni.
Yeah, you got question from Muhammad Rizky Fitrianto.
Mhm.
Thank you, Prof. Allow me to ask a question regarding waste management. I observe how the condition of different and dynamic community vary. In developed country, public awareness about waste issue is significantly better compared to developing country. My question is, which waste management approach is more effective for developing country, policy implementation, or community empowerment?
Yeah, thank you very much for the questions. I appreciate it very well. Yes, usually the public awareness in developed countries are much better than us, yeah, because their their realization, their awareness is higher because usually people are more educated and they are willing to take part of taking care of the environment, yeah, much better. They appreciate the environment much more than us. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. Because if we see it from the public administration point of view, and in this case is on the human resource, yeah, maybe it's also part of their culture, yeah, that people in the developed countries, yeah, we talked about like people in the United States or the European countries, they have the idea of individualism. Yeah, individualism means not only that they want to be like stands on themselves. Yeah, but also I don't want you to disturb me, so I don't want to disturb you. Yeah, that's among the implementation, and it means that I don't want to make your environment please, yeah, please don't make your environment dirty because I don't like it. So I don't want to make you also don't like the environment. So I don't want to throw away my garbage. That's probably one of the philosophy. Yeah, maybe the culture of permissive culture in our culture in Indonesia is also part of that. That people usually don't care, yeah, or they don't give social punishment to those who don't follow the basic principles of living together, yeah, in one area. Like usually in one community, people have to look after each other, meaning that they should not disturb, yeah, other people, yeah. But probably part of this permissive culture that people think that, oh, it's okay if I litter the environment, yeah, I make the environment dirty because, yeah, I just want to throw away the tissue that I just used, yeah, or the plastic bag, so just leaving the plastic bottles, yeah, in the parks or wherever they go, yeah, because they think that somebody else is going to look after this, yeah. And that's actually showing that's actually a kind of irresponsible action, yeah. Because if you use something and you have waste as a result, then you have to look after your waste. Yeah? You have to handle your waste. Yeah, don't put it on somebody's burden. Yeah, to do that for you. Yeah, so that's actually the paradigm that we have to have, Mas Amni, in terms of neighborhood culture. Yeah, and the government has to push, yeah, this new culture among the people, yeah, and in a way that we have to there is no other choice actually, that we have to change our paradigm from the old into the new paradigm of waste management. I think
Okay.
this is it enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Prof.
yeah.
Harturi. So you have another question, yeah? Both of you, Professor Harturi and Mr. Yanwardi, come from Pak Ahmad Barlian. in the context of public administration, what are you thought of sustainable development administration? Yeah, as an evolution of new public service and new public governance. Do you believe that sustainable development administration could be a solution to the issue you have discussed? Maybe from Prof. Hartoti first.
What is it? The governance?
Yeah. In the context of public administration, yeah, the paradigm of sustainable development administration. Yeah, do you believe that sustainable development administration could be a solution to the issue that you discussed, yeah, about waste management in Indonesia?
Yeah, sustainable development is actually a principle. Yeah, there are 17 points, yeah, in that principles. Yeah. There are 17 principles in the sustainable development goals. Yeah. 17 goals that we have to realize there. Each goal is related to each other. So it's not something that is solely, just one goal. It's not related. No, it's not that way how it operates. Yeah, it relates to each other. And actually, these principles are good principles. Yeah, such as, for instance, if we have to look after life below water and life underwater. Yeah. Life on earth and life underwater. So all aspects is actually covered in this. So related to waste, yeah, if we talked about waste handling, yeah, it's life on earth, yeah, it's something that you have to look after your waste on land. But since the waste doesn't stop only on land, but because the waste goes into river and then to the sea, and then it harms the fish, yeah, in the ocean. So it also disturb the life under the water. So life underwater is also part of the SDGs. So if we implement these principles or the goals of the SDGs, then we are going to have a good environment, and by handling our waste management really well. Yeah, I think that's my answer, Mas Amri.
Thank you, Prof. Hartri. So, from Mr. Henwardi perspective, how about you, Mr. Henwardi? About sustainable development administration could be a solution to the issue, yeah, about maybe poly crisis era in Indonesia.
Yeah, in my point of view, it's depend on the how we understand about the concept sustainable development. Well, because in my in my perspective, at the moment there are many concept of sustainable development, like what the research that I was conducted in my thesis. Many concepts sustainable development also more focused on the economic growth, sustainable economic growth. So that's why even though they claim it is part of the sustainable development, but it more focused on growth, economic growth. So and then the second is and also the how we understand about the public administration quality. It's depend on the quality of the public administration. So that's why I think reflexive public administration is important, because we can find how deep reflexivity how deep social ecological reflexivity in the public in the public administration. Because if the public administration only thinking about the economic growth value, so I think the public administration only can find solution to sustainable economic growth, but still ignore environmental and social issue. Yeah, maybe that's my
Okay, thank you
answer.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Yanuardi. Okay, so this is the last session, yeah, because our discussion has the end. Don't forget to click the attendance link for all participants. You can see in the chat box. Yeah. Thank you very much for Mr. Azri, and then Professor Hartuti, and then Mr. Yanwardi.
Thank you.
So we have a lot of knowledge here. Yeah. And also, I believe, yeah, today will deliver insight and knowledge that will significantly contribute to our economic growth, especially in environmental issue. So thank you for your participation and also your contribution. So let me back to our Master of Ceremony, Mbak Ramada. Thank you very much, all of you. See you next time. I hope we will face to face meet in other location. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, all the participants and all the speakers.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Amni, and thank you to all participants for the productive and insightful discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the end of today's session. But before we officially close, I would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Azrian Shah from Northern Illinois University, USA, and Dr. Yanuradi from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Indonesia, and Professor Dr. Hartuti Purnawani, MSc from Universitas Diponegoro, Indonesia. Thank you for sharing the knowledge, insights, and expertise with us today. The presentation has provided us with a wealth of perspectives on environmental management and policy, which will surely inspire us to think more critically and act more responsibly towards environmental issues. We hope that the ideas and solutions discussed today will not only enrich our understanding, but also encourage us to apply these insights in our academic, professional, and our personal life. Once again, thank you to our speakers, participants, and committee for making this event success. We look forward to seeing you again in the upcoming session of our summer course. Have a great evening and stay safe. For our closing remarks, we would like to invite Mr. Satria Aji Imawan SIPMPA to deliver the final notes and share some updates about the summer course program. So Mr. Aji, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Zahra, for the introduction. So, yeah, right now we have 134 participants. Amazing. Thank you very much for Dr. Aziansa, Professor Hartuti, and Pak Yunardi, PhD. I hope I can see you. For Professor Hartuti, I meet her frequently, but for Pak Azri and Pak Yunardi, I hope we can meet in person. Thank you very much also for Pak Amni for the moderating this discussion. And I would like to announce a few things that except you have to fulfill the attendance, all the participants. And tomorrow we have a topic on health policy and management. We will have Febi Dwi Rahmati, PhD from Griffith University, Australia. We also have Bu Retna Hanani from our department, Public Administration, Universitas Diponegoro, and we also have Pradipta Unik from Universitas Gadjah Mada. Okay, we will see again. I hope we can see you again tomorrow at 2 until 5 p.m. Okay, before we closing, as usual, we will take a screenshot for this session. The main idea is each session we have screenshot together. So please open your camera and please be patient as well because there are 6 layers. Yeah. So in the end, we hope we can capture each session and give memorable discussion or memorable pictures from for all of you. Okay, ready? All right. for layers number 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Layers number 2, 1, 2, 3. Layers number 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, number 4. 1, 2, 3. 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, last but not least, layers number 6. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you very much. That's all from me. See you again, participants, tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.